There are some handouts, and now that
yes.
Well, do you want to make some copies?
I already did it, so they have
I'm a bit worried about that because sending things by email doesn't always get the right layout. And I arrived very late last night in our hotel after about midnight, and it didn't have a copying machine was ready for my use. So I was a bit worried whether you would get
I think that on that wall is better than...
Right, I'm going to move over then. Shall I move over to see if I can see what I'm... Well, I'll tell you when it's ready, yes.
Yeah. No. So,
hear what I'm saying, and if you can't hear, do wave your hands, and then I'll try and behave better. Now, as I said earlier, Mill is flawed. He's a thinker, but there's always something going a bit screw-with, particularly in his book on utilitarianism. He was brought up as a good card-carrying utilitarian, and then he lost his faith in utilitarianism, but didn't like to say so. And we know that he had a nervous breakdown, having been over-taught in his youth. I think he learned Greek when he was 2, but anyhow, I don't commend that to other people, how to bring up their children. But he then found that he was suffering from emotional ill-nourishment, and discovered poetry and literature and so on. And when he came to write utilitarianism, we have all the time a tension between his trying to make out that he is a utilitarian and his actually not being one. As you look at the book, there are 5 chapters, and chapters 1, 3, and 4 would go together, but chapter 5 is an entirely different subject. He's trying to discover what justice is in order to make out that it's compatible with utilitarianism, but the argument isn't very clear, shall we say. And chapter 2, what utilitarianism really is, where he's attacking all the opponents of utilitarianism by all the time agreeing with them that utilitarian isn't what they said it was. And this is modifying utilitarianism to be something quite different. Now, what I want to do today is to try and give a way of looking at Mill which will supply some of the arguments that he wanted but wasn't able to have. And I'm going to do this in terms of the theory of games, which I'm going to take you to understand. Now, do you know what the theory of games is? Wave if you don't, because I can... All right, in that case, I'm not going to explain it very seriously. It's where you are dealing with more than one decision maker, and what happens at the end depends on the different choices the different decision makers make, and its value for different decision makers can again be different. And you can see utilitarian, the strict act utilitarian philosophy as being the extreme oversimplified case of a one-person game. It's what Bernard Williams calls the government house view, that you can imagine not J.S.T.Mill, but perhaps his father in the Indian office, trying to work out what is best for the Indians, and you think about them and what will make them happy, you add it all up, and that gives you what you call the payoff, and you try to maximize the payoff. And that, of course, is open to the criticism that it's treating all the Indians in this case, but in general, the utilitarian is treating all the people he's concerned with only as units and not as individuals. And it's a point again that Bernard Williams makes in his very good critique of utilitarianism, which I put a reference on the handout so you can see. It doesn't take account of people's projects, is his word, or as I would say, their ability to make decisions, and their having different plans and different policies and different interests, and seriously to take other people into account is to register not only the way they feel, but the way they want to act. And that's what brings us to the theory of games. And the best known, I mean, I can put it onto the screen now, is the prisoner's dilemma, which is, this was first really discovered by Protagoras, and then taken up by Plato and by Hobbes. And its modern form is due to an American, A.W. Tucker, and he's concerning whether, this is Plato's version, and it's, if the other chap wrongs me, and I wrong him, that's top left, life for both of them, ever he feels like it. Life for me is nasty, brutish and short, and even when I get the opportunity of taking advantage of him, I don't take it. So that is on the top right corner of the bottom left hand, 10 points for him, none for me. On the top right hand panel, it's the other way around. Life for me is lovely. I enjoy the security of being wronged, of not being wronged by him, with the liberty of wronging him whenever convenient. Life for him is nasty, brutish and short, with no consolations whatever. So that's 0 in the top right corner, 10 in the bottom left for me. Life for both of us in the bottom right corner is tolerable, but circumscribed. We both enjoy security from each other's depredations, but both are frustrated in the full exercise of our own personal potential. Life is comfortable, bourgeois, and long, but lacking in authenticity, and up for, and we both forward in Book 2 of the Republic, which he borrowed from Protagoras, and